welcome to this video. Bit of a different one today. I've got Jay here, who's, if you're on Facebook, you'll know him. He's on every gardening group.
Yep.
Yeah, every group. He's been helping me today with some hedge cutting, which he does quite a bit. And so I thought it'd be a great opportunity to do a video comparing Honda to the new Hayter 4856 Pros and the Toro Pro Strike. Now Jay is a die-hard Honda fan, aren't you?
So yeah, only the HRD or the HRH though, so not the HRX.
Not the HRX, the plastic deck ones.
No.
So we're just going to go through a few things which maybe either anyone at Hayter or just anyone will maybe find interesting, and just see what general thoughts are. Right, so we can edit.
So, cup of tea, certainly. Right. I've worked on many Hondas. My love is the HRD or the Honda Pro. It is pretty much all that I run. Got a couple of smaller, the older 90s style of Honda. But what's not to love? Nice, easy way of engaging the blade clutch. Button down, lever forward. Great thing with the lever going forward is as soon as you engage it going forward, you can engage the drive, and all your motions are going forward for the machine to go forward. Comparing that to the Hayter, yes, it's still simple with one button on the side, but the lever has to come back. So like I say, everything goes forward. With this, side, back, then forward, then you're travelling off. For me, it's just a bit too niggly, a little bit too much.
So what I'll say to that point, Jay, is they're probably trying to keep it, so those who've used Hayters before, it was always pull this up, pull the rope, and then you go. So they're probably trying to keep that same rhythm for those who have used them for many a year.
Hayter have had.
But I'll see what you're saying.
Hayter have had BBCs before. There was one where you hold the lever back, and then there was another lever that looks like the throttle control to one side. It would just click, and as soon as you let that go, the lever would flip forward. It worked. It was nice and efficient. This is nice and simple. I don't hate it. It's nice and simple to operate, just as much as the Honda is. So at the minute, my comparison to that, I'm still a Honda fan. Something which is quite nice on the Hayter, I don't know if you can see it from the camera, it does actually have a handle across the back. It is quite, you can see this shiny black lump. It's quite nice that you can grab hold of that. It would maybe be nice if there was something here down at the front more than this, because you can get your fingers caught in the wheel. But as a two-man lift, it's quite nice. Where with the Honda, doesn't have that. This is just the HRD model, not too far off from the Honda Pro. But again, it's not, it's not that straightforward. The only thing with the Honda that I find when it's a two-man lift, it has alley front wheels as opposed to these plastic ones. And on the inside, it's grooved. So you can actually put your fingers underneath, one hand underneath the handle, with your knees bent, stand up, and you can elevate it into the vehicle. So it is quite a nice little feature. Engines, well, okay, they're both Honda.
My favourite bit.
Yeah, alright. If you've been a user and you've used both styles of engines, if you say you like that one, then I'm afraid you're required to be shot. This particular engine has been around for years. It is pretty much bulletproof. A very good friend of mine is a Honda main agent, and he has been an engineer for probably over 30 years and has only ever seen one of those engines fail miserably by popping its valve through the head. It's pretty bulletproof, so for the users that don't know, that is an overhead valve engine. That is an overhead cam engine. For me, when I started in the industry, that engine had just started coming out, and the original Honda Izzies, which were the blue colour. For me, they're pretty gutless compared to that. They don't even sound. Let's say that sounds more like a Rolls Royce. That sounds more like a Skoda. They're just not. For me, they don't rev quick enough. They just don't have that oomph and that power that has. They're such a distinct sound. I can be walking down the street and hear one of those run.
Yeah, they are quite distinctive, aren't they?
They've just got that hard thud, that nice long stroke of that engine to put out that power.
And your mate also said to me that even the bearings on the crank were different and
Yes.
stronger and commercially grade engine where that probably isn't.
Yeah, I can't say for definite, that engine is more than likely made, possibly, made in Japan. This engine, possibly made in France, Belgium. Quality over there is a bit pants. So, for me, that engine wins over that one. Just never been a fan of it.
So they are quite strong views on that. So earlier we measured the rollers. So also this is a 21-inch cut, that's a 19-inch cut. That has a wider roller.
A very slightly
by
wider.
half an inch.
Yeah.
Half an inch wide on a 19-inch cut, as opposed to 21-inch.
Yes.
So that's quite an impressive design.
Yes,
Would
but
you say?
obviously you will, when you go down a garden, you will still overlap.
Yeah,
You
it's
still-
right. It probably won't make any difference, to be honest with you.
No.
The lawns I've used, that one where I've used previous 48s, it's made no difference. So, but it's a nice design. It helps with overlapping, which helps get a better quality cut lawn, really. And that is heavier than the previous 56 Pro.
That is heavier than a 56 Pro previous model to.
The previous one that was out last year, yeah, apparently, well, they are heavier. So,
But does the weight make it a stronger machine? Is the question. Have they?
well, I mean, Hayters have always been built quite well, really.
Okay.
But they don't fall apart. Not often.
Yeah, there are.
Not
other-
often, but
Yeah.
they do give a very good strike because of that weight. There are heavier mowers out there. We don't need to name them.
No.
Which
much
make
heavier.
this
Adrian,
look
right?
like. Yeah. Do you think he'll be watching?
He will be watching.
He'll
Won't
be
you, John?
watching.
Yeah, a couple of other things I've just sort of realised. This has a nice rubber handle, where the Hondas don't. But how long have you had this machine for, Greg? How many
So
months?
it's
use?
48 end of March. So say early April. So that's ranging
So,
5 months.
so Greg's had this 5 months. How often do you use it a week?
5 months. I use that approximately 4 or 5 hours a week.
Which isn't too bad for a pro machine.
It could. It's about a day. Depends on travel, but
So if we say a day a week,
a bit less than a day really. But
okay.
yeah, not much.
Now, on my Hondas, obviously again I don't have any rubber protection or anything like.
No,
I don't have to have creature comforts on mine. I'm pretty hardcore. And even this machine is a fair bit older than this, and it's probably done more work than this. There's no wear on these handles. Where on this rubber, it's already
2012. This one, so that's 7 years old.
right, and this rubber is already wearing.
We'll put a picture in there.
Yeah, I'll get Greg to upload one. But it's meant to be ribbed, but it's almost gone smooth. So for a pro machine,
It could slip out your hands if it's wet.
yeah, Greg hasn't used and abused this machine. Just a day a week. When you think I use mine, minimum probably 3 hours a day, and mine hasn't hardly got any wear compared to this. So maybe this rubber needs to be.
I mean, with
Upgraded.
this, I will butt in and say there is a texture, isn't there,
Yeah.
with the powder coat,
Yeah, it's
and
textured.
it does smooth in the corners, but
it's
you
not
know,
worn like
it's
that.
not fading away or anything, really, is it?
And you
A little bit here, but that might have been storage or something.
But you think the rubber would be stronger than the paint? You
Yeah,
think it'd last longer?
there was
in fact.
nothing wrong with the previous one. I have a theory on why they changed it, but I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, it's
certainly
could be the cheapest part of it.
It could certainly be maybe adapted. It does look like it comes off.
No.
Maybe it. I won't break Greg's motor, it's alright. I can't afford to buy a new one.
Have another video.
But it might come off. It might be replaceable.
They are glued on.
How well are they glued on?
Or some sort of tape or so. Yeah, then it could be refined, but
yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm still heading this way. There is a little trick that I do with machines. If you are collecting wet grass, I know Hayter have got a really bad history of collecting damp wet grass, and unfortunately this
with
trick.
The previous machines, not the side drive.
I'm just saying Hayter in general.
Before Toro took over machines, those ones. I'm not saying it's because of Toro, but
no, but
that's when you can identify.
Let's just say that this model I haven't cut in the wet, so I can't comment. But previous machine to this was a little bit hit and miss. I know a lot of you guys have now called them hatters because you don't like the Hayter. It just bungs up. It's just pants. But the height cut on this is just one single lever. So you've got 7 settings, which is great. It can go really high to really low. But with the Honda, you've got 2 levers. You have one at the front to control the front axle, and you've got one to control the rear axle as the roller. Now, what I tend to do, manufacturers will probably disagree with this, but I've proved it does work. When I use my machines, the roller is always on its highest setting. And then for height of cut, I only adjust the front axle. So when you set the machine, it is at an angle. So it looks like a dragster if you're on its lowest. But what that allows is more air to get in between the deck and the roller. So when the blade's spinning, it allows more air to come in. That blade sucks it in and allows it to collect even better. These are not foolproof. These will bung in wet grass, but it definitely 100% helps it. So whether you've got one of these or you've got another brand, and you can change the height front to rear, try it next time you're in the wet.
Definitely does help. That's what I do with my full wheel motors.
Yeah.
Either back 1 notch higher.
Yeah, most 4-wheelers.
It's what Hayter have put in these new Harriers 41, 48, 56 is a system where you have that angle.
Right. So it is part set, is it?
Technology they call it, vary pitch or something.
Right.
Where it is at a slight angle.
Yeah.
But I think maybe it's more effective with this having a separate height at the back and at the front.
Yeah.
So,
every manufacturer of machine that I've ever played with, ever sold, ever repaired, I've always suggested knock the front further forward than the back. Some people only just do 1 notch difference, but for me, the roller always stays at its highest setting, regardless, to be honest, even if it's dry. It just aids that collection. I know there's a couple of guys that do talk about unclipping the sides of the grass box, but then for me, you then run that risk more of debris coming out and then leaving the debris on the lawn. At least with this way, you're less likely to. It definitely works, 100%. You've got to try it. What else do you really want to mention, Greg?
No, I think you've covered quite good points. I mean, 1 or 2 mentions we'll mention with the 56 because this video might be quite a long one.
Yeah.
You're surprised how much people ramble on when they
don't know what they're talking about.
Well, I was going to say when they're passionate, but I mean, Yeah, also this isn't the full Pro spec, however it comes with a Pro warranty, 1 year warranty, is that right?
Not sure on that, if I'm totally honest.
Right.
It's been a little while.
From memory from website, that is 2-year commercial warranty.
On the Pro version only.
The Pro version, Hayter Harriers.
Yep.
It would be nice if they put a bumper on, because Honda have quite a good style bumper where it doesn't really bend or things come off it.
But
So I don't know, but just for like a Pro spec compared to personally, I'm not a fan of bumpers.
no, I'm also not keen. I know Hayter in the past, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, previous model did tend to be made with a bit of Dutch cheese. They did just tend to curve round.
Yeah, the end bit's curved in and then they dig into wheels, and if you have a height 2 or lower, it will just dig into the wheel.
And they've now gone to a more tubular bar. To me, from fabrication years back, it still looks a little bit too thin. Looks like it could rock. The great thing with the Honda, it'd be hard to see it in the video, but the actual wheels themselves sit a lot further forward. So we're talking sort of, I don't know, 4 inches forward in front of the deck. If we talk about bumpers, does it really need it? Because you'll just tap the wheels. The Pro version itself has aluminium wheels with proper nice rubber tyres, where the HRD is just plastic moulded. Slight downgrade, but it's the downgraded machine. Tyres are available for the Honda Pro, so you can replace the tyres. They're not a fortune at all. I have held my hands up, have replaced mine, but then I use my machine a lot. So, does it need a bumper? I'll say no. In that respect, it's another thing. Maybe it's why this machine is slightly lighter. It doesn't have that grab handle. It doesn't have the bumper.
It could be.
I think we're now talking, personally, what do we prefer? For me, I'm quite happy with the Honda design. It's been around since way the early 90s. That gearbox.
Probably from the Stone Age, I think.
Yeah, but look at it.
See cave drawings of them.
Yeah, a lot of people will turn around and say that gearbox is useless.
They've got a bit of a bad reputation on the roller ones, haven't they?
They do have a reputation, but for me, if you've only got, say, a 20-foot long garden and it's only 10 foot wide, this machine is going to take, it's going to take 2 minutes for that lawn to be cut, but you're engaging and disengaging that dog clutch all the time, where with this, it's got a gearbox in it, but it's able to slip slightly. So with that engaging, disengaging all the time, a lot of the problems people have had is it failing because they're doing too small lawns with it. If you've got a 100-foot long garden, cracking machine, because you haven't got to keep disengaging it all the time. That's one key, and sometimes people do say, as soon as you go to engage the roller, give it a nudge forward, just help it along. This, you can just engage it, you haven't got to nudge it. Still doesn't set it to me. I'm still going to stick to the Honda. Commercially using my machines, I can probably, hand on heart, go for a gearbox. I probably have to have one rebuilt every 2 years. Bear in mind, my machines are out pretty much 5 days a week for a minimum 3 hours a day.
Yeah. It's not bad, really, is it?
No, and you think how much wear and tear that you get, and even some of you know, some of you don't. Gearboxes between the HRD and the Honda Pro are 100% different. I can't remember how many teeth it is off the top of my head, but the Honda Pro is slightly faster on land speed to the HRD. Doesn't mean the HRD is too slow, but it is for me. So all of my machines have all been upgraded to the HRH Pro gearbox. Haven't really had any issues with it, other than change them every couple of years, but they're rebuildable. The ones that Hayter fit, they're not produced by Hayter. bought in as a bought-in product, they're not repairable. I can't say how much the gearboxes are for them because I don't know, and I can't really say how much it cost me to rebuild one of them because I do it myself. Or I get a very good friend of mine who just loves to do it when I'm busy. So price comparison we can't really.
No, so there you are. Jay loves a Honda.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll move from it
No.
to that.
That can go back in your garage, Greg, and I'll only take this one home.
So there you are. I hope that was of interest, and please like, share and subscribe.
Thank you.